Good evening, everyone. Ellen Sudderth of ESP Presents and ESP Book Chats, where we bring page turners your way. Today we have two guests. We have author Phyllis. You can come on out. You can stay right there. I'm gonna be still talking, but stay right there.
Okay.
We have Phyllis Holloway and her husband Samuel X. Holloway, the illustrator of the book titled Uriah's Sweet Tooth. So we're gonna start with you, Phyllis. You're going to tell us about yourself and why you penned this book.
Hello, I am Phyllis Holloway. I am a retired educator, 2 years going in now. And I penned this book because it's a long time goal of wanting to write a book, 20 years or more. And I just decided, didn't know what direction I was going to take. And I just started typing one day, and it happens to be about Uriah and his siblings. So I came up with Uriah's Sweet Tooth.
Okay. And so for those who are out there, and I don't know if you brought the book with you, because of my background, you wouldn't be able to see it. So there's the book right there. And also it talks about we had two talks on Noon Vibe, which was audio, and it talks about autism awareness and you want to have a cohesive community. So we're going to start with your husband because he's the illustrator of this awesome book. Um, Mr. Samuel, welcome to you both being here tonight. And tell us about that illustrating. Now, we'll start a little bit of mess just to break the ice. How was it working with your wife doing this illustration? And did you have control of making the things you want to put in the book?
Ooh,
Sorry.
she started. Well,
Nice to meet you, Ellen, by the way. It was really refreshing because once she let me know that she was wanted to do this book, she was so excited about it. So I had to shut down everything I was doing because she was excited. I mean, she don't get excited about much. So
Oh,
when she was excited about this book, I was more than happy to just stop everything I was doing and get to it. And we got it done. And it was a good process. We collaborated on color schemes, the characters. I drew characters different ways to say, so how does this look? We approved on the ones we agreed with. So it was really a fun project for me. I enjoyed it.
awesome. So you did approve, Phyllis. You did approve.
I
That was
did. I'm
like,
not going to show a lot of the book, but I just want to show maybe a couple of the pictures just so you can see a task of, he told me show you a bigger face of his artwork. Here's one, two of the characters in the book.
that is absolutely beautiful. And I wanted to stay right there with him since you did show the book. How, for both of you, but mainly I'm going to start with Samuel first because he did the illustration. I spoke to an author, William McCrary, who is also a children's book writer. And I was asking him, and this is the question, and I'll phrase it this way. While writing a children's book and putting those pictures and those words to represent that picture, was that challenging or was that something that you can just flow through, having the right pictures for the right conversation?
It was basically easy for me. I've done books before. I've been drawing. I've been doing art all my life, so I'm really good with cartoons. It's like second nature to me. So it was basically. I knew it wasn't. It wasn't. I knew it wasn't going to be hard. It just was going to take some time. So
Awesome.
yeah, it was a basic process that I go through. I've been drawing all my life, so this is something that I do.
Awesome. I'm going to reset to you both. I'm saying I'm resetting. You'll see me looking down and up. That's simply because we're on YouTube as well. And I see that there's two people. I can't see who they are. And thank you guys for coming on here. We're resetting. And my guest here is Phyllis and her husband Samuel, who is the illustrator of her book. The book is titled Uriah's Sweet Tooth. And this is a children's book. And so I just want to say hello to you out there. Thank you guys for being here, whether you just peeking in, moving on, cruising through, and maybe you will be able to see the show later. Thank you, replayers. Thank you for being out here. And so we're going to go ahead and go with our talk tonight. Again, we're talking about Uriah's sweet tooth, and also he is on the spectrum. This is a grandfather and a grandmother. And I wanted to ask you guys, I did ask Phyllis, this is like a little small bonus. I asked Phyllis about grandson having autism. And we know that we as women, we have a community. I want to ask you, as a grandfather, as a male, I noticed, not close to me, but people that I spoke to, that when the father has, and you being the grandfather, and I imagine that something would probably trickle over as far as feelings or emotions towards having a grandson that have autism. What I found in my talks with other people who have sons, and the father felt like the son was broken, felt like he could never play or never have that future heritage that he want his son to bring. How was it for you as a grandfather? Uh, I'm not saying that you were in denial, but the acceptance of community with Uriah.
Well, me personally, I have a different perspective on people, children of the spectrum anyway. And my experience has been, I find that they have unique abilities. So to me, I see it as a blessing.
Mhm.
So I'm just thankful that he's able to do the things that he does. But I also know that like Uriah can read on a fifth to sixth grade level. I mean, it blew my mind when I saw that. But some kids his age can't do that, so it balances itself out. I've never seen it never was a problem for me, and mainly because the way Wesley, which is his father and his mother, they just normalized everything. So it was no brainer. I really wasn't affected by his autism.
That is awesome. And so, Phyllis, we talked about that on our audio show, that the way that, like you, just like what you
Mhm.
said, you both said the same exact things without even knowing this is what she said, is that because of normalizing things like that, and it
Mhm.
was just a no brainer, as you say. We talked about the last time on our audio talk. I was talking to Phyllis about Uriah being the oldest and having autism, and did his siblings mimic him? Because I've seen in a family where the mother, she was always in denial. She did not say, and autism was not. Uh, I won't say it wasn't out there, but the public didn't put their hands on it, while the parents of those that are on the spectrum struggled. And so she would just make up things that the child was saying. And
Okay.
so also the siblings would mimic her. So in this case, talking to Phyllis, our last talk, she said that it's pretty much the other way around. Could you tell us, how was that for Uriah being the eldest and then siblings? What is it like? And both of you guys can tag team on that.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
My experience is that Zion is the middle child. He's now 6, and Uriah is 7. Phoenix is 3. So Zion didn't have anybody to look up to as an older sibling other than his brother that's on the spectrum. So, but Zion is so independent where he does and lead by his own examples anyway. And the perfect example I have is one day they came over to visit us, and Zion, the middle child, goes, "Hi, Uriah." Normally, Uriah says, "Hi, Uriah," repeats his own name. But this particular time, Uriah said, "Hi, Zion." So Uriah has changed in the sense that he's mimicking his brother that's a little younger than him, and
Mm.
speaking out for himself and understanding the differences between somebody other than himself.
Mr. Samuel?
I've actually I've seen it switch because initially, when they was babies, Uriah being on the spectrum, he would get locked in on doing something like counting, and he would count to 100. I mean, he would just keep going 101, 102, and I saw that. I recognized that as a great talent. So the benefits were that the younger one would mimic him. So the
Uh,
older one was mimicking The younger one was mimicking the younger one, and he was advancing.
Mm.
Okay.
And then once he became older, then he started leading.
Okay.
That's the
Wow.
history that I remember. I seen him follow his brother and demonstrate great triumphs because his brother is just locked in on, you know, counting colors, reading, and he's mimicking him. And now he's following his brother now. So it's like it shift.
And also Zion being the second child, he's a great reader now as well. And
Yeah.
he's in kindergarten, and I didn't know he read the book
Yeah.
and was excited to see himself come off the pages. And I
Yes.
didn't know he could read as a
Yeah.
kindergartner.
Wow, because they do have some special skills, and that's what I told you when I talked that I do have autism in my family. She's just soaring in our family. And so I'm going to reset again and then we'll go into the potty training. But we'll
Okay.
talk about that. I'm going to put my readers on, okay, y'all? I should have had it on before. So
Okay.
I'm resetting. I'm resetting, and those that are on here, thank you once again for being here. Our guest here is Phyllis Holloway and her husband Samuel X Holloway, and he is the illustrator of her book. You guys will have to listen to the replay. I was being a little nice, messy, but she know that I was just trying to get something out of them to see how they work. Because usually when people work together, when they're husband and wife, somebody got to take the lead. So thank you to and both answering that. So guys, I thank you guys for being here as well. So we were talking about the last time we said we're going to talk about this because this is just our third show. And we want to talk about potty training. What was that like? And you said that your husband was more of the lead in that. So what was that like? And for those who looking on, you might say potty training. What's that? What's so special about that? And I hear quite a few families and their children are even adults that have the thing with potty training. And so I learned because of our autism community, I learned to save space, to save space. So with you guys, what was it like training him? And then for those who don't know, because he's on the spectrum, how was that?
I'll go first. So interesting. You're right. Some adults aren't even potty trained that are in this on the spectrum. I read at Uriah's classroom today, and the teacher is a teacher that has looped up now. This is her third year teaching the same set of children. And she told me today that, hey, so and so is now potty trained. Now so and so is potty trained. And because she was so excited, Uriah was 5 years old when he learned. And how he learned was it was a long weekend. We had them over, all three grandbabies. And we thought, we're not going to let them go home this weekend until they're potty trained. I mean, it's an unusual situation how we did it, but you got to take time. You got to be patient. We gave them juices, we gave them popsicles, and about 20, 30 minutes later, hey, your turn to go sit on the toilet. I got a chair. I sat in on the toilet with him, and I'm going to let Sam tell his version. And until he went, until he went.
So Uriah used the bathroom, right? He's in the bathroom, gets off of the toilet,
Because I had to leave the bathroom for a short minute.
gets off of the toilet, walks out with a trail behind him. I say, Uriah, sit on that toilet. Yeah. I said, go sit on that toilet. You don't get off the toilet. And he sat back on there. And I tapped him on his leg. I said, you don't get off of this toilet. After that, he was potty trained. He never got off again, and he was straight after that.
Yeah, because he did. Although he messed on the floor, he's some stuff. Number two did go in the toilet, and I think he may have been impressed by that. Like, oh, this is what you do. He have not had any incidents whatsoever after that.
Wow. So I'm still looking at that, and then, like I said, there are still families that are now from a child up into an adult, and so it's just coming from you two and saying that you said, Phyllis, that you both decide there, or either you that they were not going home without being potty trained, and so with me having a family member that on the spectrum. I don't know what was it like for my sister to go through that, but because I wasn't there on that part. And so just you say he says one word. Phyllis said he has one words that he say.
Mhm.
And I just want to imagine I'm trying to put the shoes of a family community of autism. I'm trying to
Yes.
put the shoes on and say, okay, you said it was one over the weekend.
Mhm.
Did he
Yes.
understand you? And then I know your husband said he gave him a tap on the leg,
Yes.
and he was right in place. What was it that you two think from your own point of view, that experience, and from, let's say, one or two to that point, how did you, how were you two aware that this would be successful? I know that seems like a bizarre question, but how did you know that that day would be a successful day?
We didn't know. They came over on a Friday and was going to be picked up maybe on Sunday. And it was a Monday, a holiday. And we thought, hey, let them just stay here the extra Monday and we'll see, work on this, be serious about the whole thing about potty training. So we were religious about, hey, relentless about sitting them on the toilet, not getting up until you do something, and just being consistent every 20 or 30 minutes after they drank or eat, sitting them on the toilet. And I guess they got sick of sitting there every 20, 30 minutes. They figured they better do something.
So you saying you did all three of them at the same time? Because I
Well,
heard
it
you
was
just
No,
not just the two boys.
just the
Phoenix
two boys.
was 2 years old at the time.
Okay.
But Uriah 5 and Zion is 4. So we did both of them.
Wow.
One went at a time. It was Uriah's turn or it was Zion's turn. So I or Sam can be in the bathroom with them when they went.
You know, that's a big thing, and for those who's looking on, that is a big thing to do that, because here I go again, and I hate to say this, is A type people, someone that is not on the spectrum, that you treating them the same way.
exactly.
Because an A type person, they would do the same thing, give them something to entertain them, and then they go to
Wow.
potty, just sit there, do what it. But you did it the same way.
Let me say
How
something.
can you tell?
Oh,
You both share the from your point of view
let me make
for
a point.
those who looking on to just do them the same way. And I hate to use that word, but people use that A type people. What would you
Mhm.
say to them in doing that?
I just want to make a quick point. Ellen, that is just outstanding what you just said. The same way. Uriah is not treated any different from an A type personality. And we train and teach him the same way that his brother and sibling get trained and teach.
They always,
Wow.
both of them, and we also taught them how to walk. By the way, when they stayed over here, both of them, we taught all of our grandchildren how to walk, and we potty trained them. Because when we get them over here, we old school. We just work with them. We just work with them, and they're so inclined to the structure here. When they come here, like when it's time to clean up, I say, get on the couch. They get on the couch. All of them get on the couch and stay on the couch until I get finished doing what I'm doing.
And
Then I
see,
say,
that's go ahead,
I'm
go ahead.
finished. You can go ahead and get off the couch. See, it's all about treating them normal, just like they're normal, and they respond to each other. But when you start making this distinguishing difference, you confuse the
Mm-hmm.
kids. We confuse them
Yeah.
when we start saying, "Oh, no, this is not for you." No, their mother and father treat all of them the same.
No coddling, no
No
special
coddling.
treatment.
Uriah gets
Wow.
disciplined, and he's responding properly to discipline.
And see, that's one thing too, Mr. Samuel, that people are talking about. I see on social media, again, not close to me, that people are thinking, and I see some comments that people say, some people might say, "Well, just spank them," and then some people say, "Well, they just don't understand." And some people who have children with autism, they say, "You treat them, and they do understand. You
They do.
shouldn't accept
They do.
different behavior." And like you don't know Samuel, but your wife knows. I think I told her that my mom is deaf, and my grandmother didn't
Yes,
Mhm.
treat
you
her
did.
any different than anything. She acclimated her into the hearing community, and you wouldn't even know that she cannot hear. You think she just ignoring you or being defiant. She just didn't treat her any different than the other siblings. And so I like that. You guys, y'all definitely tag team on this. And so one of the other things that I wanted to talk about, even though you both did the potty training, what did that independence look like walking away from it? You know, you taught him how to potty train. What was the trajectory or the ongoing of that independence of Uriah's independence toward potty training?
Way to go. I only can remember how we kept in touch with the parents, and mom would be so excited by saying Uriah is still going to the bathroom. You know, they remind them a few minutes after they eat a drink, go to the bathroom, and he goes. And he might need help cleaning himself, but he stayed on task. One thing about Raya, any child is on the autism spectrum, once they get into a routine, that's what
Right.
they're expected to do over and over. I got to go to the bathroom, so that's what I'm going to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, other than being sick, you know, children throw up and get diarrhea. Other than that, he's been consistent going to the bathroom.
That is so awesome. I really like that. That independence and the ongoing, and like
Mhm.
you say, there was consistency from you guys, and there was consistency that way. Believe it or not, our time is going fast.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Okay.
but I do want to ask you both, from your own point of view, what was it? How did um, patience fall into play for you both? And from your own opinion, how did patience fall into play?
Well, patience, it falls into play with when I can see him having a moment. I'm patient with him. See, in other words, I can't interfere with something that I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just patient with him. Sometimes he'll get on top of you, like get underneath you, and then just wow out a little bit, and then you just come back to his senses.
Yeah.
And I'm patient with him because I don't understand that part. So I'm just patient.
Yeah.
I don't try to defy what he's going through. I just be patient with whatever he's going through.
Yeah, he still does quite a bit of stemming, and he does flare out. He might swing. You might get a cuff from his right hand or something. When he wants something and can't have his way, he'll just flare out a little bit. But we bring him back down with calm words. Okay, Uriah, stop it. Go sit down, and he gets okay. He becomes okay. Yes, yeah.
Did you get that?
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
your screen is freezing.
Yeah, we hear you, Ellen, and see
Okay,
you.
good, because my screen had totally went off from me.
Right.
Yeah, we saw it too. It blinked out.
Yes, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But I seen you guys talking there with this in my hand. And so if you want to just pick up just a little bit and I'll catch the rest on there because I'll catch the rest. I don't know what happened to me. But
Okay. Yeah.
so can you just give me just a little bit, just kind of uh improv where you was at so I can hear that last part of the
Oh, we were talking about, you asked him about being patient, and we talked about when he does his stimming and gets upset because he wants to do something and we say no, or his parents say no, he'll go off a little, he'll frail and swing, and we just firmly say, look, no, and you need to sit down at whatever situation chair, and he calms down and he becomes okay.
That is great. I know when you were talking about his teacher and how they loop and
Yes.
have the same teacher going there. I seen something on because you mentioned what you mentioned now, just brought it to my mind. I seen something on social media where this one teacher, I don't know if she's an inclusion teacher, but this one teacher was talking to the little boy who's on the spectrum, and she talked to him and said, "I'm here, you safe," and all that. And people in the comment section was saying that the teacher can't afford to do that because she have other students, and so I had chimed in and said, this is my point. The teachers have too many kids and they should have an inclusion because that person can tear that whole room up. all
Absolutely.
because of what their meltdown is. So the best thing to do is to calm the child
Right. Hmm.
and don't be over or understaffed. But you have to make sure that you have that together. So that's what I thought about is like to have that consistency. The teacher, the same thing, repetitive things going on. That's one of the things about that. Anything else that you guys would like to add from your own experiences to those who are looking on to our autism family, from your own point of view, from any tools from your tool belt that you, as a male, I'm gonna narrow it down to that, and as a female, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm thinking of mother and father, and like I said, not close to me, but I've heard of people saying that their husband are very uninvolved with their children.
I don't think that the husband can be uninvolved. I think the same um, importance is having both parents involved in their life is the same importance to have them instrumental because they are still two different characteristics with the female and the male that child has to be acquainted with because they understand far more than what people give them credit for. And I think
Mm,
that's the part that I think a lot of people, they just think that when somebody is have some type of handicap or whatever,
mm-hmm.
that they just out of the loop. No, they just
Hmm.
have a handicap. They
Yes.
still
Yeah.
human and they function and they think and
Yes.
they feel and they love and they laugh and they smile. And you just have to tap into what makes them happy, what makes them laugh. And that's your job. You know,
Mm,
Raya don't like a lot of the things that other kids like. He like what he likes.
yes.
So
I
I
like
use what
that.
he likes to my advantage.
And I would say don't isolate your child because they're on the spectrum.
Right.
Take them out. Don't take them out by yourself. Take them out with a group of family, aunts, cousins, whomever,
Mm-hmm.
but take them out and let them
Explore.
experience and explore the world. And my son and wife are just so
Mm.
phenomenal, and they're just young.
They great.
Wesley's 32. Cassandra just turned 30, I believe. Wesley might be 34. I don't know. But anyways, they have
They
all
know
these
how old they
places.
are.
They have all these places that they take them. They take them to amusement park, water parks,
Mm,
the zoo. So they don't isolate Uriah. Uriah is always on the go. You might go to one of these places. Uriah might be on a tablet. Uriah might be doing his math, but he's out among the public.
Right.
I
Don't
love
isolate.
that.
Don't isolate the children.
That's one of the things too that they talk about. We're over our time, but just because of this, we're just going to continue. We at 23, so we're going to continue to 30. But I told you these things go fast. But a lot of families I see, they don't go to the restaurants. They don't go to those things
Oh no.
because of it's hard. The community looking when they're flaring their arms and different things like that. Let's talk.
You want to talk? You froze. I don't know if you can hear me. We're gonna wait till you come back. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
let's
that.
talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, well, our experiences is, oh, Uriah has done quite a bit of that, and he
Yeah.
still does, but not as much because now he used to, we're out, we're having a meal. And he
Right.
sits there, he eats his meal, and he just quiet most of the time.
When he was younger, when he was younger, he didn't understand. So he would have these moments, and they were simply because some people would get annoyed with the child making noise or whatever, and they would just take him on the outside, talk to him, calm him down. He would come right back, and he'd get back on point. It was just like they just give him a little like a timeout, and then bring him back because they understood that some people don't understand what this is.
And they still do that. When we go out now, if Uriah has like a whatever his breakdowns are, he gets loud, he start frailing or whatever. They'll take him for a little walk,
Mhm.
and he comes back, and
Just got
he
to be patient with him.
just got to be patient. You know, you're gonna be walking with Uriah sometime.
It's not to me. I don't. It's not as dramatic as some people make it seem to me. It's just understanding that things he see things different, and that's why he can read or he can do other extraordinary things that younger kids his age can't do. So, like I said, it balances itself out to me. I take the good, it weighs itself out. It balances itself out. I love. I mean, I love children all my life, so I've been around and been instrumental with children. So it's not to me. I can see how somebody who maybe don't have that experience, but I'm very experienced. They go to the other one. Look, and try to walk. Yeah.
I love it. So I think that even more with you two can help others, the community, in doing that. And like you say, normalcy or normalizing when you're with your child that's on the spectrum, and just you know make it become normal.
Right.
Yes,
Make it become
yes.
inclusion,
Right.
because we talk about it, but I think more so now in the past, since pandemic or before, that we're now, I don't know how inclusive we are with it, but we're now recognizing and we're seeing autism awareness. But is there in inclusiveness? We would have to still see that being worked on. But this has been a wonderful chat. Now you guys know this comes and go really fast. One
Mhm.
more thing, as to the family, what would you both like to say if you had anything to say to those who replay this, to those who may contact you? I do want your contact information that you can give. They may want to talk to you and also see, and then you guys be that community. So what would you say to them, and on the road to having a like you said, community?
I would say, extend yourself beyond your nucleus. You got to add grandparents and aunts and uncles. And one thing Wes has done, the father of Uriah, is this is how it's going to be. If you guys going to be hanging out with Uriah, this is the expectation. No coddling, no XYZ or whatever it is at the time. And if you do something that's contrary to what the family rules are, he's going to correct all of us on it. He say, don't coddle him, don't let him have his way. To those parents out there that are struggling with children on the spectrum, you just got to be patient. You just got to realize that's a baby. Normalize the situation and don't coddle them, and don't worry about what the public say. Go out there, take your child out there, and those are the public's issue and not your issues for you and your child.
I think
Love it.
I think
Samuel?
the most important part is understanding that first and foremost they are children when they start, and they have room for development. But you got to cultivate the development as they grow and they mature. They may not be at the same rate as a normal so-called child, if whatever how you're supposed to say it. Okay. I'm just saying that you have to be understanding that when they're born, they don't know anything. And there's a lot of room for growth and development, but what you put in is what you're gonna get out. You don't put nothing in, you're not getting nothing out.
Patience.
Patience, love. I mean, you gotta, they're gonna reciprocate whatever they get. Now, if you ain't got no patience and you harsh with them, then they're gonna be acting out more harshly. They ain't gonna have patience. But when you instilling patience and you being disciplined, they're gonna reciprocate it because I've seen Uriah. It's like he's transforming.
And don't let technology raise your children. Don't be afraid to take technology from them. Replace it with something else. Ellen and I talked over the audio. Replace it with it's meal time, it's bath time, it's brush teeth time. Give me the iPad. You're going to do this instead. Take that technology. Don't be afraid to do that.
And that's what, can you guys hear me now? And
Yes.
that's what we want to do. So we look at, and I'm just going lightly, and we're going to end this, and you could tell them where to get your book and stuff like that.
Okay.
With doing this, I just want to say on a lighter end, like you say, the inclusiveness and hiding. Some people may want to continue to hide the children, abandon the children or whatever, because they don't know
Right.
what to do. And you see different things. You don't know what's AI or not nowadays.
Right. Yeah.
Normalize and cohesive, and like you said, united. front with grandparents and everybody and be inclusive in this. Not just think of them as a throwaway or God made a mistake or they're a little demon or something
Right,
like that.
right.
But to look at this as a beautiful gift, a beautiful
Mm-hmm.
artistic gift that God has given you, and that it's just going to take some patience with you first, some acceptance. We have to expect, and that's what I see with both of you guys, that you do expect longevity of
Mm-hmm.
Uriah as learning how to be a productive
Mm-hmm.
citizen in society, not
Yes.
just
Absolutely.
he has autism, not just that that's his cards that's dealt and
Station.
that's all he can do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm going to show the picture. Uriah Sweet Tooth can be found on Amazon. I'm the author, and my husband here, Samuel, is the
Illustrator.
illustrator. And my email, I don't have a website, but I give you my
That's okay.
email, is pdwchappelle@gmail.com. And Samuel's email is
SamuelXArts@gmail.com.
Awesome. So, this is on, like I say, on YouTube. You can get it right away. And we will share this out on the different platforms that we have. You guys have an amazing evening. Thank you for coming here and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
We
thank you.
enjoyed you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are
Enjoyed you
welcome.
so
I
much.
enjoyed you as well. I know I started some good, loving, hot, buttered mess, but that's all right. It's been smoothed out,
It's
right?
good.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone
Keep
that's
it spicy. Keep
watched.
it spicy.
Bye, everybody.
All right, take care. You just hit that X and you'll be out, and I'm gonna talk to the folks right here. Let them know
All
what we
right.
got coming up. Have an
All
amazing
right.
day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Do tell folks about us. All right, bye bye. Hit that X and you'll be out. Again, thank you guys for being here. Our guest is Phyllis, and you can hit the X. I don't know. Up top, the X in this top corner right here that will bring you out. And we thank you guys for being here. We thank you for our guests. We do have other shows that's going to come up, and that'll be March 12th. March 12th, we'll have Jacqueline Cox, and we'll also have this is a double whammy. We did a double dip, and we did a double dip with Jacqueline Cox. Her book is titled, she's the author of Vanish, which is a historical fiction exploring the Atlanta child murdering from 1979 to 1981. That show will be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, Lolita Coppage, we would talk about her book, The Leaves Turn Brown. And that story is about the young author Annalise, who her first manuscript was sent to a huge publication, which she was not ready for, and that spirals down to some different things, some betrayal, some things that spiral down and causes her a lot of pain. So stay tuned as we discuss that on March 12th. You guys have an amazing day, and thank you all for being here. Bye bye.